The BMW K1600B takes the good parts donated by its older brothers, the K1600 GT and GTL models, and kind of successfully melds that with the Rolling Sands Design Concept 101 machine, which you can kind of Google or YouTube to find out about, to produce really probably 2017's most interesting new bagger, I would say. It's a super balanced inline engine and has definite six appeal. You know, that 6-cylinder inline engine is pretty unique, and it has a sound all of its own, which is quite enthralling to most people. With its 160 horses and 130 torques, giving out about 100 torques a tick over even, I believe, it certainly isn't lacking punch. But the agility of this machine kind of beggars belief, really, compared with its peers. It's amazingly agile for such a long and relatively heavy machine, not necessarily within its class, but compared with most road bikes. So the agility really surprised me. And currently it really has no current competition in its class at present. There will be a new Goldwing coming out in 2018. I'm not sure Honda's really done enough to kind of bring it up to the standard of the K1600B, but Honda build a good bike and the Goldwing's a legend, so that'll be interesting to see. But overall, at present, it really has no current competition. It's not really competing with the Ultras and the Venture, probably because they're V-twin baggers, and they've got the top cases and a little bit heavier, and they're appealing to a different type of rider in the main. Entry price is around 20 grand in dollars US, but realistically everyone will spec them to $25,000 or just under probably, and for that you'll get pretty much everything you could ever wish for on it. So after riding it for the third time, what are my thoughts still? Well, I love the bike, and in terms of its style, it's sleek and it's classy. It's like a high-end GT car. I think of it as like an AMG Mercedes in jet black, with glossy paintwork that's totally unblemished. It's a class act. It's like some kind of turbocharged Maybach in that respect. Engine-wise, well, magic carpets can never propel you this smoothly, that's for sure. It's just, it's just sensationally smooth, and it sounds amazing. If you wind it up, it sounds like an F1 car, but at low revs, it's not annoying, and it is just silky smooth. The gearbox is also excellent. The Pro Shifter is slick, and of course it has reverse gear, and reverse gears are the new black. It really makes it lightweight, light work, literally. Reversing it into parking spaces, and I absolutely love that feature in terms of getting it in and out the garage, or just reversing it out of a parking space where you've put the front wheel against the curb so nobody accidentally knocks it over, for instance. It's a game changer, that, really. I love that feature. So in terms of handling, well, I tried to deck out the foot pegs deliberately on it, but 3 rides in and all remains unscuffed, and that's pretty good going. I don't deck out the pegs on my GS Adventure, but I do catch my feet a lot on the ground in the mountains. They've got quite big feet, they're quite long and wide, and they do scuff the edges occasionally going through the bends in the mountains. But on the 3 rides I had on the K1600B, I didn't have a problem, so pretty pleased with the ground clearance, and in terms of holding a line and traction and feedback, it's all very good. Very pleased with that. Braking wise, again, great feedback, smooth actuation, and very strong stopping power. It's really good, strong Brembo brakes on this bike, and it hauls you up in total confidence. Comfort, well, that's another ace up its sleeve. It's really up there with some of the all-time greats like the Ultra Limited and the Goldwing, in my personal opinion. It's just really built for doing big mileages in comfort. And if you're comfortable doing big mileages, then you'll want to ride your bike often and you'll want to ride it far. And this bike is made for riding often and far. In terms of the dash, the clocks are informative, but I do expect TFTs to replace them soon, probably as early as next year. The clocks are a bit of a mix of analog and digital, but with everybody moving to colour TFTs, and for good reason, I really don't think it'll be too long before they say we hear you, and we're just finishing up the clocks that are sat on the shelf or in the box at the factory, and once they're gone, we'll bring it bang up to date. So that's the one, probably the single area I think they can improve upon, along with sissy bars for the seats for the saddle, and apparently I'm being told that the factory have said we hear you on that, and they are working on that at present. I don't know whether that's a direct result of one of my other videos where I say it's a definite mistake for the US market. Almost certainly not. Otherwise I would sound quite shallow, but I'm glad that they are at least listening. And for those that's a deal breaker with your wife, check out the Corbin saddle site, who already have a luxury touring saddle with backrests and heating element for heated both front and rear, and also they do additional kind of hard to explain but little pods that sit on the back of the sissy bars to carry your wallet and phone and stuff. Anyway, check out the Corbin site for that. So in terms of controls, the switchgear is very reassuring, sturdy and intuitive to use. Didn't have any problems, putting the cruise control on or lifting the screen up or changing rider modes and stuff, and it's pretty good. In terms of value, well, some would definitely say, and I kind of totally get it, depending on people's circumstances, but some would say, well, I could buy a car for 25 grand. And I think, yeah, you could, but it wouldn't be a particularly nice one. No disrespect to anyone who drives a 25 grand car or thinks that's a lot of money to buy a car. I certainly remember a time when it was for myself, for instance. But, in the grand scheme of things nowadays, $25,000 doesn't buy you a Bentley. And, whereas that's precisely what you're getting here. You're getting a grand touring machine in that kind of vein and that kind of quality. And for travelling vast distances in sublime comfort, utilising great practicality and warding off boredom with huge amounts of gadget tech, the similar price of a fully loaded K1600 Bagger seems totally reasonable to me. But, you'll have to make your own mind up on that one. So finally, just a quick run through some of the features, because they are just mind-boggling, really. I'm sure I'm going to miss some, but here's some food for thought. Reverse gear, pro shifter, keyless ignition, airflow winglets, electric screen, cornering ABS, traction control, electronic suspension, rider modes, keyless filler cap, central locking panniers, cruise control, dashboard locking GPS, heated grips, heated seats, XM stereo, highway running boards, cornering xenon headlights, LED tail lights, LED spotlights, blind spot mirrors, hill hold control, custom logo embroidered seat, Bluetooth media connectivity, cooks breakfast, lunch and dinner, washes and irons clothes, sweeps and mops floors, pays bills and puts kids through college, makes owners more attractive to younger women. Well, yeah, maybe a bit of poetic license in the last 4 or 5, say, but you get the point. You think of it, and it's on this bike. And if that's what you're looking for, if you're not looking to buy something and continually update it and think, oh, God, I wish it had this and I wish it had that, I mean, this is it. If you want your cake and eat it, if you want the most, this is the mostest.
ride anything else. It's just unbelievable.
Did you get it to straight?
No, I tried as well. I didn't get it straight. I think it's more my fault than the bike, but I went to use the quick shifter and hit a false neutral along there. You probably heard it rev out.
Yeah, I heard it. Boy, he's really hauling ass.
Yeah. But other than that, that's just utter perfection, that bike. I tell you, you don't even get out of the car park and you know it, don't you? You don't even go over that speed bump.
And you know, when you were following me, did you notice it accelerated?
Yeah.
I mean, you went that thing, and all of a sudden you're on your brakes, but you're already out where you thought you were trying to get to it.
And it's so butterly smooth.
It's like the Starship Enterprise.
Yeah, it's just awesome. Absolutely freaking awesome.
How you doing, Rich?
Good to see you. Have you put your name down yet?
Yeah, you can't stay that long. It's 1:30 is the next ride. So.
Oh no, you have to come back another day because it's a proper demo bike now.
We're making a private day.
I think you should. I mean, it's a no-lose situation buying a GS on any day, but just for the benefit of the doubt, you should ride both.
Was it fun to ride?
Yeah, it's an awesome bike, that thing.
You like it?
Yeah, it's just amazing, that thing.
So in summary, BMW know how to build truly great bikes nowadays, and the K1600B is no exception. If you think this is the type of bike that you may be looking for next, then I would strongly urge you to ride one now, while many dealers around the world still have their demo bikes on fleet. If you value creamy, smooth power delivery, sublime comfort, effortless braking, agile handling, and expect to invest in a long-term ownership proposition that may well last a few 100,000 miles even, then this may just be your huckleberry. Thanks for listening. I appreciate it so much. Please subscribe. Don't forget to share and like. Add your comments. I'm always glad to read them. And last but not least, ride often, ride carefully, and ride on.